I hear you're involved in The Room, the movie The Room, something about it?
Yeah, Franco
Great.
bought, great. He, one of the guys who made The Room wrote a book about the making of it, Greg Sestero. And so Franco optioned the book and then asked me and Evan, my producing partner, to help him produce a movie based on the book.
So it's going to be a movie based on the making of the movie.
Exactly, yeah.
All right,
This
fantastic.
won't be an expensive movie.
Because that goddamn thing is
unbelievable.
hilarious.
Yeah, I saw it like 10 years ago, I think, for the first time. Like right when it came out. Like I just moved to LA, and there would be billboards for it and ads and stuff like that. I remember I saw it with Jonah Hill actually randomly, and like we became obsessed with it. Like it was the greatest fucking
that awful
thing
movie,
I've ever
right?
seen.
We saw clips of that. I think we watched.
You watch it and you just trying to figure out what it is.
Well,
like, was this a goof? Is this guy serious?
He's serious.
Oh yeah,
totally serious. But there's something like that's what's interesting about like as we talk about it and work on the movie, like. It's your instinct to just like say like fuck this movie, it's a horrible piece of shit, like why would you do this, like what an idiot. But what's kind of what you can't ignore is that like there's tons of bad movies that aren't watchable and that like no one watches over and over and over again. So like there is something you kind of have to give credit to, because like of all the shitty movies, he made one that like people still watch 10 years later.
Love to watch
that
the
people
shittiness
love it.
of
And
it.
so like there is something probably of obviously no effort of the guy who made it, but there is something that's oddly brilliant about it. Like a lot of movies, like you get the joke 10 minutes in, you're like, I get it, it sucks.
Right.
This movie's not like that.
No.
In 10 minutes, like after 40 minutes, you're just like, it keeps coming up with new ways to be shitty. Like, it's constantly like reinventing the shitty wheel as the movie goes on. Like it's truly amazing.
Have you talked to the guy yet?
I met him in a grocery store one time.
Holy shit.
Randomly, and I talked to him for a little while.
Hi, Seth.
Hi, Seth.
Hi, Seth.
Oh, yeah. He's kind of like a vampire. He's like a vampire-y vibe.
Does he know it's awful?
Well, what's interesting is he's kind of had to restructure his thoughts on it, I think, to some degree. Because he wants the acclaim and attention, but all that's associated with somewhat acknowledging that it sucks shit. So, like, I think he's kind of in a weird position where he goes to the Q&As and he introduces the screenings, and I think now he kind of pretends like, oh, it's a dark comedy or something like that. Yeah. But it's like so clear that he like is wounded by, it's like torn. Which is interesting also. Like a guy who has to like go around and perpetuate something that's being received for all the wrong reasons. Like the movie's not a cheap. It's like a $10 million movie or something like that. Like it's not a cheap movie, and he paid for it all himself. And
where'd the money go? Did he pay $9 million to one actor?
Yeah, exactly. Because they kept going. Like they kept stopping and starting. He bought all the equipment himself. He didn't rent it from movie house. He bought the cameras and the stuff. Like it was a very bizarre approach. But like so for however he's rich. Like he's independently wealthy, and he currently like tours with the movie still. Like
he never tried to do another movie or any of that.
Supposedly he was like working on something else, but I don't think he ever did.
Who's James Franco playing on that?
He might play Tommy Wiseau.
I could see that.
Yeah, you can see
him being a creepy guy like that.
Oh, it's a real movie, not a documentary about it.
No, it's like a movie about the making of it.
That'd be fantastic.